Breaking news! Things are hot behind the scenes at the Detroit Lions, and I have some important news to share with you today. Unfortunately, we lost the game against the Dolphins last weekend, and that left me thinking a lot. I really believe and want the Lions to beat the Texans, and if you think that will happen, hit the like button. If not, leave a comment with your opinion. Anyway, write something like, "Go Lions! Let's go to the Super Bowl." Right now, the Detroit Lions have a golden window to do something bold, aggressive, and that screams we're here to win. What move? Trade for Trey Hendrickson. Yes, Trey Hendrickson, the elite pass rusher currently stuck in contract purgatory with the Cincinnati Bengals. The Lions have their eyes on a Super Bowl opportunity, and this is the kind of move that could make it all a reality. But it's more than just adding a name. It's about timing, strategy, and staying ahead of the financial wave that's coming next season. Let's get straight to the numbers because they paint the clearest picture. The Detroit Lions are second in the NFL in projected cap space for 2025, sitting at a healthy $51 million. Not only that, they're also one of the youngest teams in the league, which means cheap rookie contracts are still in play. But don't let that fool you. The rent is due, and it's coming hard next year. Aiden Hutchinson, no extension yet. Brian Branch, Sam Laporta, Jack Campbell, and Jahmyr Gibbs are all either hitting the end of their rookie deals or approaching that territory. That's not even including Jameson Williams or Malcolm Rodriguez, who could also be on the books for new deals. So what does that mean? It means this team is about to look very different in 2026. In fact, when you project forward, Detroit drops from second in available cap space to being in the hole by $21 million. That's the fourth worst cap situation projected for 2026, trailing only the Saints, Chiefs, and Vikings. And here's the kicker. All of that pain is before a single new extension for key players has even hit the books. Aiden Hutchinson and Jahmyr Gibbs are almost guaranteed to become the highest paid players at their positions if they continue their current trajectories. Think about that. You're staring down 2 mega contracts plus a roster full of young studs all needing to be paid. The cap crunch is not just coming, it's already knocking at the door. So why Trey Hendrickson? Why now? Because he's the unicorn, an elite pass rusher on a 1-year deal with no financial baggage beyond this season. The Bengals reportedly want a first-round pick, which is, frankly, absurd. This isn't Madden, and teams aren't parting ways with premium draft capital for a 30-year-old on a 1-year rental. Cincinnati allegedly turned down a second-rounder already, holding out for some miraculous package that includes a young defensive stud and a first-rounder. But here's the truth. They're trying to hold Hendrickson hostage. The player wants out, and the clock is ticking. For Brad Holmes, this is the moment to flex. The Carlton Davis trade? That was solid, but it didn't move the needle. Trey Hendrickson would. This is the kind of move that sends a message to the locker room, to the fan base, and to the rest of the NFL. The Lions are all in. And if you believe this team is one piece away, one spark on the defensive line from dominating, then Hendrickson is that spark. Imagine pairing him with Hutchinson for 1 season, letting him wreak havoc on opposing quarterbacks, all while knowing there's no cap hit waiting in 2026.
And don't get it twisted, this isn't unfamiliar territory for Brad Holmes. He's made mid-season trades before: Carlton Davis, Zadarius Smith, Donovan Peoples-Jones. He's shown he's willing to be aggressive when the right opportunity presents itself. The key now is making sure the compensation matches the value. A first-round pick? No way. But a second and another smaller asset? That's doable. That's worth it, because the payoff could be the ultimate prize. Trey Hendrickson wouldn't just fill a need. He'd elevate the defense to championship caliber. The NFC is wide open. The 49ers are strong, but vulnerable. The Eagles are inconsistent. The Cowboys? Still improving when it counts. The Lions, meanwhile, have built a core that's young, talented, and hungry. Adding a veteran pass rusher like Hendrickson, who is motivated and playing for his next contract, would not only boost the pass rush but send a signal across the league. Detroit is coming. Now, let's be clear. Next year is going to be messy. Alex Anzalone, Josh Paschal, Levi Onwuzurike, Marcus Davenport, all likely gone. Rodriguez, Branch, Laporta, Williams, all due for extensions or entering their final contract years. If you think the locker room won't feel that turnover, think again. This roster is about to undergo its biggest transformation in the Brad Holmes era, and the only way to soften that blow is by going all in now while the window is wide open. Look, the cap situation isn't just about numbers. It's about momentum. It's about timing. And right now, the Lions have a rare convergence of cap space, roster youth, and playoff aspirations. They could absorb Hendrickson's $18.5 to $19 million salary this year without blinking. There are number 2026 obligations. No future guarantees. Just 1 year of elite production at a position of need on a team that's already knocking on the door. So tell me, Lions fans, is this the year we swing for the fences? Should Detroit make make the move for Trey Hendrickson and throw everything into the fire for a shot at the Super Bowl this season? Let me know what you think, because here's the thing, the Lions are not going to get another shot at a setup like this for a long time. If Brad Holmes plays this conservatively, if he waits too long or clings too tightly to future draft capital, he might miss what could be his best shot at a title in Detroit. And then what? We head into 2026 swimming in negative cap space, watching key pieces walk, trying to retool while also paying top dollar to the very players we developed? That's not how dynasties are built. That's how windows close. Now is when you go aggressive. Now is when you take calculated risks. And Hendrickson isn't a reckless risk. This is a Pro Bowl caliber edge rusher with a proven track record, coming off multiple seasons of high-level production. He's not a project, not a maybe. He's a proven game wrecker. And yes, he's over 30, but that only makes him more valuable for this specific scenario. He's playing for one more big contract. And what better way to earn it than helping the Detroit Lions win their first Super Bowl? If you're worried about him sitting out or being unhappy, let's squash that right now. Trey Hendrickson will play if traded. He's not walking away from the game at this point in his career, not when he's this close to free agency and the market is starving for pass rushers. You give him a chance to compete at the highest level in front of one of the most electric fan bases in the NFL, and he'll bring it. It's a win for him, a win for Detroit, and even a win for the Bengals if they come to their senses and accept fair value instead of fantasy trade packages. Brad Holmes has proven he can draft. He's built a core out of rookies and value picks that have developed into legitimate stars. But at some point, you can't keep rolling the dice on the future. You've got to commit to the now. This team has earned that. The fans have earned that. Detroit is not some rebuilding franchise clinging to hope. This team is ready. And adding Hendrickson would be a move that turns a contender into a favorite. And let's be honest, waiting isn't going to help. The longer this goes, the more leverage the Bengals think they have. If you let another contender swoop in and make the deal, not only do you lose out on the player, but you potentially face him in January. The worst case scenario isn't trading for Hendrickson and falling short. The worst case scenario is watching another NFC contender trade for him and beat you with him on the roster. So how does the deal get done? If you're Brad Holmes, you work the phones hard. You float a second-round pick, maybe sweeten it with a depth piece who's not part of the long-term future. But you don't touch that first-rounder. You can't, not for a one-year rental. Unless, of course, you believe he's the final piece. Then maybe, just maybe, you go all in. But the key is timing, and right now, that timing is everything. You already see how the roster is going to shake out in 2026. There's no room for guesswork. Jahmyr Gibbs and Aiden Hutchinson are about to explode in value. Hutchinson is on the edge of becoming the highest-paid non-quarterback in football if he delivers a monster season. Gibbs is on pace to surpass Christian McCaffrey in terms of running back compensation. These are facts, not projections. And the longer Detroit waits to extend, the higher those numbers go. You draft well, you develop well, and now, you supplement that with an elite rental who helps you get over the hump. The long-term cap mess is coming either way. This move doesn't affect that. You've got a one-year window to throw a punch. Make it count. And if it lands, you could be holding the Lombardi Trophy in February. That's not hyperbole. That's reality. But only if you take the shot. Subscribe for more exclusive Detroit Lions content like this, hit that like button, and don't forget to check out the next video on your screen. All the latest, straight from the source, right here.